testing tools as if they were cars. Oh my goodness, this video is a long time coming. It took me quite the hot minute to accumulate all the equipment to conduct this series of tests. But here we go. So we're going to use the Wilk-Dicke base model impact driver, one of the best impact drivers on the market, and we're going to put it through its paces. So we're going to start with the performance analyzer, power analyzer. What this thing does is it evaluates the pull. So how many watts does the motor pull from the battery as it does the thing that it's doing. So you can see that it taps out about 542.8. What we can do is we can divide 542.8 by 745 watt, and we get a very respectable 0.728 horsepower. That's not bad at all. So the next test that we're going to conduct, my friends, is the twerk test. So I built this thing out of scrap metal. I used a custom programmable APG gauge and a bearing push set from Harbor Freight, and you can see that this dude pulls an astonishing 166 foot-pounds. That's the most I've ever tested from any tool. So the next test that we're going to conduct is the drag race. So the Rhyodium beat the D-Wheelie-Doo handedly, so you're not going to see that race, but these are the two races between the finalists, and you can see the Wilk-Dicke beat the Rhyodium. So the next test we're going to conduct is the top speed test. You can't have a good vehicle test without a top speed test. So this one hits a top speed of 344.2 RPMs versus a claimed 3,200. Not bad at all. The next test that we're going to perform is the handling test. And, you know, this is definitely sort of a subjective way to test things, but you can listen to how it slams the screws down. That'll give you an idea of the handling. I really like this tool. Very comfortable tool, nice handle. So the next test that we're going to perform is the teardown, and this is my favorite part by far. So we're going to start at the bottom, as always, with the terminals. And we learned in the last video that the plating on these terminal blades doesn't factor very heavily into the performance or the flow of electrodoodles through the wires. That doesn't make any difference. I thought that the copper, since it's a better conductor, would flow electrons better, but obviously that is not the case. Potentiometer prevent dust ingress. That's an interesting little design-a-rooney that these two do not have. So the circuit board, the brain board for the Wilk-Dicke is up here, and it's not potted, so if you get it wet, you are screwed. This thing would never survive a good wetting. Then the potentiometer, it feels good. This is a more comfortable tool than the Fuel because, like I said, it doesn't have the gigantic handle on it, but it does have a lot of rubber meat around it, whereas this one doesn't have as much meat as the Max XR or the Max, and this one's got some nice thick rubber, but it's not as comfortable because it's heavier. Then we're going to move up to the motor, and the motor in this one is so you can pop out the rotor, and it's actually a smaller motor. So they packed a lot of jam into this motor. Normally you can tell the performance of the motor by the length of the armatures and the windings. So, and there are a few windings, so this motor is definitely designed for high RPMs versus torque. And this one, I don't know what happened to this one, because it's a big fat ass motor. It just ain't got no stink to it. But like I said, it's a really, must be a very efficient motor. It's also got these little silicone bumpers. That's cool. But this one's just like straight up bare bone, and then you can see the they got this Celastic over the Hall effect sensors, and those are designed to calculate the position of the rotor as it's spinning my things in there. And then these are powdered metal pinion gears. It's a little bitty baby tiny pinion gear. And then we can't get these apart. I've tried. I'm sure if I could go rooting around in there I could get it apart, but I'm not going to do it. Anyway, so it's got a solid roller bearing on the back to prevent dust ingress. I like that. 5-inch diameter based on the numbers. So the very last, and certainly not the least of the last, is the we're going to do the review. So review time. Yeah, okay, perfect, got it. So performance, it's jacked up with performance. I give it a 7.8, an 8 in performance. Yes. Ergonomics, this is more comfortable than the stinking Fuel FX because it had the big gigantic handle. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5 in ergonomics. Build quality, I mean, it's built fine, but they just didn't put a whole lot into it. You know, they certainly left something to be desired in, it's not potted, so there's no protection from water. I'm going to give it a 7 in build quality. The electronics, they stripped it down to nothing, but they're still good, high fluting. So I'm going to give it a 7.5 in electronics. Innovation, I'm going to give it another 7.5 because I really like the fact that they kept it clean. They didn't do nothing. They just gave it all motor. And I always respect that. So I'm going to give it a 7.5 in innovation. And if you can get this hot potato for $99, you got one, in my opinion, one of the best value tools money can buy. I'm going to give it a 9.5 in value. I would give it a perfect 10, but there might be another tool that comes along and I want to leave just a little bit of room, you know, for the Mo Better. So that's it. You can see the total, and then you can of course go to our website, review.wfskills.com, and you can check out this review and all the other reviews, and you can also leave your own review. So if you like this tool better, I want to hear about it. If you like this tool better, I want to hear about it. If you don't like this tool at all and it sucks, I want to hear about it. So let me hear about it. Till next time.